Offenses are able to adjust here for the second half. The 3rd and 10. There's Manning's pass, and it is intercepted. It is Jimmy Smith taking it to the end zone for the touchdown.
That was well coordinated. Kyle Arrington on the blitz. It was late. They didn't see the defense shift around. Peyton Manning threw into it. Jimmy Smith reading the quarterback the whole way to get to the quarterback and make him throw it away.
He hasn't converted on his last 7 third down attempts. And he's intercepted by Talib. Aqib Talib has to beat Flacco, and he weaves back to the middle and finds the end zone. Matching pick sixes in this game.
Joe Flacco could not have seen it clean. It was a blitz. He threw it before he wanted. Aqib Talib reads the quarterback better than any corner in the league. That's what would scare me as a quarterback throwing against him. He's watching you. Andy just doing offense now. He said he was creative.
As Charles has a huge lane inside the 20, blockers in front, and he's in for the touchdown. And you were talking about Jeremy Maclin. He threw a pivotal block that helped get Charles into the end zone.
You got to do it in all phases. Couple things here. The inside block
on dropbacks. 3rd and 3. Are they going to bring it again? They do. Pass it's intercepted. It's Peters. The rookie's going to take it home for the touchdown.
A free blitzer is coming at Peyton Manning, so he tries to anticipate the throw, knowing they can't block everybody. So the throw is a Manning. He's the best at recognizing blitzers and what to do. The mistakes have been by his teammates in picking up the blitzers so far tonight.
Got to get to the 9 for the first. Kansas City sees Sanders make the catch, and Denver at last has found the end zone.
Derek Johnson was coming untouched towards Peyton Manning, and he caught that run blocker.
They got Thomas on the wing to the right. They're looking to throw to the end zone, and it is caught by Virgil Green. He bobbled it for a moment, but then grabbed hold for the 6.
Quick decision and a really good one by Peyton Manning. That ball was meant to throw to the right flat and throw short. He immediately saw it was covered and looked for Virgil Green back of the end zone coming from the other side. If you hold him to a field goal enough time to drive his team in field goal position.
2nd and goal. It's Miles Davis. Now Davis to the end zone for the touchdown.
Alex Smith almost falls down. Dangerous.
Manning across the middle. He's there for the touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders. And of course the PAT is no longer automatic, but they'll try it from 33 yards to tie the game.
Almost the same concept that they had a couple plays before. They caught him in a defense. The corner's playing outside, Fleming. But you got to be extremely careful first. It looks like they're going to throw it.
Yeah, out of the gun. 3 wides.
Oh, it's down.
The ball is out. It is picked up by the Broncos. Roby, and he's in the end zone for an unbelievable touchdown. A flag is out at the line of scrimmage. Darian Stewart knocked it out of Charles' hands.
There was no flag on the play. No foul.
Oh my
Ruling on the
goodness.
field is a fumble recovered by Denver. Touchdown.
The man who saved the game last Sunday, Stewart, the former Raven, knocked it loose and would be the #1 pick a year ago.
Odell Beckham Jr. when they're going in to score.
Now lined up in the eye. Williams got it on the first crack. Will he get it again? Yes, he will. Try the left side, cut back to the end zone. Touchdown, New York.
Excellent job. Good play call. You want to take it to side, inside. That's what you do when you have a weapon like Odell Beckham Jr.
Breland is a good 8 yards off of Beckham on the line of scrimmage, and they're going down to him, and he snags it for the touchdown.
You said the appropriate word. He snags it out of the air. I don't think if he doesn't reach up and go get the football, I think Breland's going to knock it down. But he sensed it, and he got up in the air.
Pick up a first at the 1. Thompson, and it's a touchdown for Washington. Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson's done a good job getting fired up the plane, and safeties are trying to deliver that big hit towards him, and that's what happens when you have great success in this league. You become a target.
3rd and 10. Won the voting. Got on the cover of the Madden game. Just his 2nd season in the league. That's a lot of respect. Down the field. Oh, man. Randall off the rebound for the touchdown. There's a flag down in the secondary. Breland, who gave up the touchdown to Beckham earlier, appears to be the victim for the 2nd time.
There is no foul on the play for defensive holding. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Ruben Randall. We've been battled.
It's going to change their offense tremendously. Slot receiver like a tight end, close to the quarterback. Sideline's not his enemy. A lot of ways to throw it to.
Here's a good return all the way. It's Ross. McBride trying to give chase. Ross turns it on. The afterburners activated for the touchdown. 100 yards.
You said it. He turned it on. The angle was there. I thought.
Let's see, though, what happens with this first possession of the 2nd half as the Bears, the first 2 games, have seen the opponent take it down the field and drive it for a touchdown the opening 2 weeks. And here's Lackett, the rookie from Kansas State, down the sidelines and unstoppable. 105 yards.
Beautiful job. Beautiful. Watch how he takes the football in the end zone. He measures it, Jim, when it's in the air.
This is a member of the Buffalo Bills. Wilson, pocket sealed, open is Graham, slips out of a tackle, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. What a great effort by Jimmy Graham. Got away from Brock Vereen. It takes it 30 yards for the touchdown.
Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator, you got to be thinking about calls that, hey, if we run it, we get it close, we can go for it on 4th down.
Campanaro gets it. On the inside handoff, he looks around and he gets free to the end zone. What a play by Campanaro. Looked like he was going to be dropped for a loss, had a stutter step move. It faked out the defense and he goes 9 yards to the end zone.
Arthur Moats has him dead to rights. Nothing you can do. Top of the making it too many known passing situations before they let him throw.
First down at the 11 and Bell He's going to switch back to the other side, and he's got a running lane. Bell cuts back and takes it to the end zone for the touchdown. Le'Veon Bell at his best.
That's the first thing you have to think.
You've got 3rd and 5. Play action, and Vick guns it to the end zone, and it's juggled for a moment, still waiting for the signal. And they call it a touchdown to Darius Hayward-Bay.
What a throw. Love what they did. They take Mike Vick, they play action.
Around him all these years, you got to believe it.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10. To the end zone. Flacco's pass. It's on the mark. Touchdown, Baltimore. Kamar Aiken.
Awesome job by Aiken. Really good throw by Joe Flacco. Way to turn things around here in this game with that drive by the Ravens.
Now they've got Gore lined up behind him. Gore with 4 carries for 37 yards. 2nd and goal. They fake to Gore, across the middle, back to the end zone. Andre Johnson comes back to Houston and finds the end zone.
Formations, different looks, running the football, moving the pocket. They got it all working, and this is what they envision this offense. Matt Hasselbeck to
Arizona State, who's a good-looking talent, although he's been inactive at the start of the season. 3rd rounder out of the Sun Devils. Hoyer loads it up. Fires it to the end zone, and it is caught, I believe. He's got it. It's Strong. We just talked about him. Comes in really for the first time this season and makes the play for the touchdown to end the half.
perfect throw by Brian Hoyer, throwing it high, giving the guys time to get to the end zone. But really what's disturbing, watch the defensive backs. So far it's working for him here tonight.
That run by Gore made him the 17th all-time rusher in the history of the league. He just moved past John Riggins with that last run. And they go back to Gore, and Gore is in for the touchdown. Frank Gore finishes it off. He's had a nice night here tonight.
Up the middle. Jim, he's having a great night. Look at those. How about his feet? Can you? It's just, and everything they do on the offensive side, it's almost impossible to stop. You want to stop them, you got to get up there tight, or you got to blitz the quarterback.
Second and goal. And Hoyer goes to the end zone. Wide open for the touchdown, and it's Jalen Strong again. How about this? 2 catches in the NFL, and both have gone for touchdowns. And goal. Crucial snap in this game. Johnson, and he takes it across for the touchdown. His second of the night.
They had the perfect play called to work here for the touchdown. Everybody on the blitz, both safeties up the
down. First and goal inside the 1. Hardy on the Cowboys sideline here for this snap. Blunt is the tailback, but Brady keeps. And that's got to be a touchdown. It is. Best in the business when it comes to a quarterback sneak.
Well, they read it. They know when to do it. Pretty funny, and the 4 that came in were all small. The running back, 3 receivers.
Edelman. Is Brady still with it? Over to Lewis. Underneath he goes and into the end zone for the touchdown. Sensational effort. A one-handed catch, and then he ducks underneath the Dallas defender. And Brady's hit his last 7 passes. He's got 2nd and 13, and he's got an open Edelman. And look at Edelman break 2 tackles, and Edelman is home for the touchdown.
Tom Brady took a big hit, but once again, the deceptive offense, what they did, He was inside, comes outside, and the Cowboy defense doesn't react. Wide open.
They picked up 24, and first and goal now for New Orleans. It's Ingram plowing ahead and fighting for it, and that's a touchdown. He took on Nate Stupar and won the battle. Backed him right into the end zone.
Sorry, Jim. Now you know why they took the opening kickoff this deep and made Matt Ryan move, and had a ball. He got the sack.
Bosher, fifth-year man, has never had a punt returned against him in those 5 years for a touchdown. He's got a man ready to receive it. There's only one. The Saints are on it. The Saints have the block, and they have the touchdown, just like what Gleason did back in 2006. Michael Mauti makes the play.
That was an excellent play off of a little move by Julio Jones.
Second and goal. Ryan still has it. Good play action fake to the end zone, and it's caught by Roddy White for the touchdown.
Almost the same play we saw before. They're picking on Brandon Browner, trying to see if he can run across the formation, which is really hard to do always in this league. You worry about your own defenders, receivers on the other side, your options.
If you do kick it here and kick another field goal, it is still actually just two scores. Here's over the top, wide open for the touchdown to Watson, who's having the career night.
And by getting those 2 yards, Sean Payton never afraid to take a chance, that's for sure. We saw that down in the Super Bowl when they beat the Indianapolis Colts. But getting those 2 yards changes so.
Second and 6. It goes 3 minutes on the 20 to 10, and Freeman's in for yet another touchdown. His 9th of the year.
Not too many times can you say the football team, they get behind, they can make the comeback by running the football, but they can do it.
Gives him 100 ways. First and goal. It's Ingram. And it's Ingram trying to get him sideways, and he does for the touchdown. Ran behind his fullback, Austin Johnson. And a 25 in the half. 6 for 93 for the night. Looking his way, it's not there. So Freeman. It's a touchdown. Well, I tell you,
he can break tackles on the outside.
4 completions to 4 different receivers, and it's second and goal.
Go for a lucky 5-6.
5-6. That means they're going to. Donald Butler is the offensive line's assignment if he blitzes.
Pass, shuffle pass, and it's Starks. And they signal touchdown, Green Bay. Second and 10, Starks. Spins away and has an open field. Look at Starks go inside the 30. He's got a blocker down there. Is Janetz, who shields the defender. And Starks takes it the distance. 65 yards.
I got to be honest, I didn't
do what Pittsburgh did to them on Monday night. To beat them at the wire. This to close out the half. Can they negotiate the half yard? Rivers, pass. It is caught for the touchdown by Inman.
Well, Mike McCoy stuck with his feelings and his instincts from the beginning of the game, but Phillip Rivers sees it, and we'll watch him retreat. Don't mope around because Green Bay doesn't care. He was saying, you said it right, Jim, right after the game Monday night against Pittsburgh.
2nd and 9 from the 20. And there's the pass to the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by Ladarius Green. And the Chargers are a point after away from tying the game.
Tough matchup, going down the seam, so many different ways that Phillip Rivers can throw this football. The play calling this year, every once in a while, of course, Mike McCarthy might say, nah, I don't like that, let's do something else.
2nd and 5, and Rodgers to the end zone, and James Jones delivers another 6.
This is where James Jones has filled in some for the Jordy Nelson not being out there wide receiver. Jordy Nelson can go deep, great double moves, back shot.
He would love for that line to make a play right here. 3rd and goal from just inside the 1 is back to Lynch, and he's over the top for the touchdown.
Well, he had enough experience down inside the 10 running the football, and he figured it out. Instead of trying to slam in there, good job of stalemating by the offensive line on the left side, Justin Britt. And he went over the top, like we just saw there.
Wilson, 6 completions to 6 different receivers. He's looking long. He's launching it. Down for Lockett in the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. Tyler Lockett, the rookie from Kansas State, from 43 yards out. His first touchdown reception in the NFL after already putting up a punt return and a kick return.
Talk about Miami's defense. It's the run defense is what you want to go after.
Blunt already with 4 carries for 22 yards. Here's play action, and Brady across the middle has Gronkowski. Slips out of the tackle, and down the field he goes. Gronkowski to the end zone for the touchdown. 47 yards. Gronk got away from Rashad Jones and takes it the distance.
Well, Miami loves the matchup with Rashad Jones, number 20, against Rob Gronkowski. But they love this when you
back to the 16. 1st and goal from here with 29 seconds in the half. Across the middle, who else? Lewis touched to the end zone.
Well, it's the first big mistake this.
From the 2, it's Miller. Miller powering ahead. Looks like he's across, and he is for the touchdown.
Boy, great read by Miller that time. Patient enough to see the block and get between or get to the right of the center.
Well, that's a... He'll take over Jackson's position at right guard. 3rd and 5. Across alertly for another touchdown for New England. Cashing in off the Harmon interception. Second and goal back at the 16. Edelman again with the touchdown catch.
Talked about Tom Brady, how he worked so hard on his mechanics to keep his arm youthful, throwing the ball the way he did, even as a young kid, like we've said a couple times tonight.
Over the top to Eifert. He's across for the touchdown. What a red zone presence he's been for this team this year.
Well, he's a difference maker. They love this set of plays where Andy Dalton can hand it off, throw a screen, run it himself.
Both of them by Starks. Second and goal. Here's Dalton. Having to roll out, flips it now. It's caught. Touchdown, Eifert again.
The coverage was outstanding. Nobody's open. The play action pass.
Third down from the 11. We call it the 12. Manziel in the pocket. Flushed out. Chased, fires, finds for the touchdown. Duke Johnson. Manziel just executes a 92-yard touchdown drive.
Terrific job by Johnny Manziel. I thought for sure third down they would come with the blitz to keep him in the fake and gave up big yardage to the Bengals offense.
Jones with another big play for 25, and here's a reverse to Sanu. With Dalton out in front leading the brigade, then Sanu takes it home for the touchdown.
Well, Mohamed Sanu, Jim, he throws passes, runs reverses.
Wearing a microphone tonight for us. We may have a little reaction. Who knows? He just polishes off the final 25 yards of a 91-yard drive.
After halftime, they got it straightened out on the defensive side when they went in that locker room.
Well, you saw the yardage numbers, first downs in the half, 11 to none. Second and 10. He's going to take it to the end zone. He goes. It's Eifert with the Triple Crown tonight.
Well, they've been throwing so many inside breaking routes. In other words, those quick slants to the tight end, to the wide receivers. So it was time. Hugh Jackson calls it perfectly, and it's a double move. And Williams in the pocket as good as any quarterback in the league. But this league is about rhythm, getting rid of the football, and don't get hit.
First and goal. Up ahead, Gore for the touchdown.
Looked like a snake just slithering through the little openings. Two hands on that football because speed and contact are coming.
So Whalen, who made some big catches Monday night in that comeback attempt, gets him within 2 of a first. Gore's the running back. They're going to go up top for it. And over they go to Doyle, who reaches across, and it's a touchdown.
What a drive.
The front office is making decisions on player lineups and who's participating. And anyway, they have certainly responded in such a big way. Some were thinking it might go the other way. Here's the punt by McAfee. A lot of hang time. And a run back attempt. It's Bolden down the sideline. Can you believe it? With no time left. Bolden takes it the distance. 84 yards.
And it's never over with this Broncos team, even if it had been 17-0 at half, because they're so explosive on both sides of the ball. And we just saw it.
And 14. Got to get to midfield for the first. Peyton pressured. Able to step up and go deep. Emmanuel Sanders takes it all the way for the touchdown. 64 yards. Lowry and Toller got beat on the play. And Peyton stepped up and launched a long one for the score.
This time he put the proper amount of, and that's why we're seeing him take so many chances running the football and taking those big hits.
On third down on this drive, he has not missed. 3 for 3. He's got a 3rd and 5 coming from the 8. Blitz, open, Bradshaw, end zone, Indianapolis.
I love this play. You want to be aggressive on deep.
To the ground. Farron's backup center was in the backfield, then shifted. Here's Manning to the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass to Owen Daniels.
Owen Daniels. 6 catches today for over 100 yards, and you see this a lot. They just got the Indy defense.
Jordan Gay is the kickoff specialist for the Bills. He's the only full-time kickoff specialist in the league. He's got one run back on him here by Devin Smith. And Smith fumbled the football. It's picked up by Williams, and he's in for the touchdown. Smith, who fumbled it, just now getting
Across the formation on these runs when he sees that open space and cuts. Jet linebackers, they're big and physical, hard for them to stop and make the adjustment to get the tackle.
Here's 2nd and 10. All kinds of time for Taylor, and he's got Carlos Williams, and he's in the end zone yet again. Every game he's played in. Just the 2nd player in league history to score a touchdown the first 6 games of his career. Robert Edwards with the Patriots back in 1998, the only other. Plate going into the locker room. Tony Stewart has come in, rookie out of Clemson at linebacker to replace him. 2nd and 7. He takes it home for the touchdown.
Brandon Marshall on the inside. Buffalo upset that they think it was an illegal block down the field.
2nd and 7. As Manny Lawson comes in at the last moment. Here's Fitzpatrick down the middle. He goes, and that is across for the touchdown. Second and goal. Again, Mason lines up in the backfield. Brady, play action, looks to the back of the end zone, and there is his man Chandler for the touchdown. The former Buffalo Bill tight end, Scott Chandler, with his 2nd touchdown catch of the year.
First, so much of this is just Tom Brady, but he loves this new system where he can catch the ball, get rid of it quickly. He's been accurate with the football. Let's see how New England plays this quick passing game of the Giants.
It's resulted in his highest completion percentage of his career, and down he goes. It's Beckham getting loose, and he's going to take it the distance. 87 yards.
Well, it would be tight and risky, especially against a big defensive front.
Beckham to the right side. McCourty on him. To Harris. Did he get the feet down? First thought was no, but they're conferencing. Touchdown, New York.
Well, what do? Tight coverage. It's hard to judge it because they can't run their full offense because of the offensive line and the loss of Edelman.
Running behind Mason, and that is a touchdown for LeGarrette Blount.
Your big running back against the best side that you can go to the left because of Mason, Cameron Fleming, he's big. David Andrews is
to Detroit, 3 straight losses. Vikings going to be 7-2. Here's Brady over the top. Open is Gronkowski. He gets away and he has it inside the 20. They're not going to catch him. 76 yards to Gronk. Dahl and Merriweather collided, and the Patriots are a Gostowski extra point away from taking the lead.
Jim, they do this every single game. They love seam passes. To get the official's attention to let him know he shouldn't have been in the game.
2nd and 10. Mariota has it. Mariota inside the 10. Reaches for the pylon. And they're looking. He's got it. Touchdown, Tennessee. What a fake by Marcus Mariota.
Well, what a fake and what speed. That's all you can say. Mike Mularkey says this guy can really run, and they not a conservative coach. We talked about this in the game, and he's going to do it now. He likes his playmakers. Spread the field. By spreading the field makes it easy for the quarterback to see and really gives him an opportunity to run if nobody's open.
That's after the longest punt return by Jacksonville in 5 years. 1st and goal. Prater. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Julius Thomas.
Well, he caught just about every single pass in practice when they were inside the 15-yard line yesterday. And finally, it was a blitz by Tennessee in the one-on-one.
Best wide receiver on the other team. He's got 4 picks. And he's run 2 of them back this year. 3rd and 6. Romo in the pocket. He is picked off. It's intercepted by Kurt Coleman. And Coleman breaks the tackle. He's at the 10. Gets around Witten, and he's going to find the end zone. Carolina, 59 seconds into the game, is on the board.
They are great. This Carolina defense.
So far, McFadden has 7 carries for 5 yards. 2nd and 13. Romo, pocket sealed, able to throw it, and he's intercepted by Kuechly. Kuechly inside the 20 to the 10 and to the end zone for another Panther defensive touchdown.
13-3, and Tony Romo just got impatient. And that's what leads to this interception. Usually he's very careful and smart with the football. Damn, we know you can throw it hard. Take something off of it. Well, yeah, there's very few passes in this game where he hasn't thrown all out as hard as he can.
14th play of this drive. And a 1st and goal. And it's Cam Newton tumbling in for another touchdown. The first offensive touchdown of this game.
Well, the Cowboys said it many times, they'll say it one more time. They were hoping that Carolina would make the mistakes, but the 3 interceptions, the penalty by Jones.
Well, he knew where a Panther fan wearing his jersey was sitting, didn't he?
Sure did. And somebody said all his celebration back at the same time. It's really a tremendous talent. Says a lot about him.
From the 2, 1st down. Roll out, throw, punt. Touchdown, Beasley. Cole Beasley's 3rd touchdown of the season.
Mistake.
It's been one of the issues for Seattle this season, breaking down in the red zone. They're 31st in the league in touchdown conversion in the red zone. Here's a 3rd and goal. Well, they got it this time. It's Baldwin on the receiving end of the Russell Wilson pass.
It's their number 1 play inside the 30 when they're looking to score. You've got to know that as a defense. They're going to send a guy up.
Meat at the top. Bryan at the bottom. And look at this, end around. As Bryant breaking a tackle and somehow finding enough room to negotiate the sideline and a touchdown.
The speed is what Russell Wilson was ready with a laser throw.
Smith's first catch of the season, just put on the roster out of the University of Washington. And it's another touchdown. Another touchdown pass by Wilson. This one to Curse. The Seahawks complete the long drive.
Let me tell you something. Russell Wilson had his best game of the year in that cut.
2nd and 1 from the 6. Williams straight ahead to the end zone for the touchdown.
What a drive. Caught it on the way to the ground. Russ Cockrell in great position. Couldn't knock it away.
And they're at the 1. They go Rawls. And he powers across for the touchdown. 2 plays after the pick. The Seahawks are an extra point away from tying it.
Well, the Seahawks got up there, lined up quick. Just in practice, you watch all the games before this. You could see that he was becoming a part of the team more and more in the passing game. His blocking was getting good, and he was making defenses pay attention to him, which opens up other players.
2nd and 7, and to the end zone, and Curse for the 2nd time today has a touchdown.
They love this play too. They have all the inside receivers running deep down the field. Seams and a little double move by Curse. It's quick, and Russell Wilson put the football exactly where he needed.
On a new set of downs. Looking around and launching for Wheaton. Wheaton has it, and he breaks away for the touchdown. He reached past Lane and then held off the last tackler. That's a 69-yard touchdown to put the Steelers back in front.
Once again, we see Roethlisberger move.
They played this year. Their 5 losses, all of them that gave away leads. 2nd and 6. Open. It's Baldwin, and he's got the touchdown. His 2nd today.
Once they get near the 30-yard line, they love to take shots to the end zone. The 2-minute warning, still plenty of 2 timeouts. A lot of time to get in position for a field goal.
3rd and 9, and Jackson is in the backfield.
Yepler blitzing.
Here they come. Pass across the middle, and it's caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His 3rd of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Russell Wilson stood in there like he's done it all day. They got the blitz coming. Bud Dupree is coming free, but Russell Wilson did not flinch. Detroit knocking at the door again.
But again, both teams coming off a Thursday game last week. Not a quick turnaround. Here's the 3rd and 2. To the end zone. And Ebron has it for the touchdown.
Well, we said it, when you do a lot on defense, you get caught making mistakes, and nobody this time is covering Ebron, the tight end. And Matt Stafford saw it.
Hey, right here.
From the 17. Looking for Megatron, and it's a touchdown. Right over Sam Shields. Taking just seconds to strike off the takeaway.
Well, just what they wanted. Jim Caldwell, everybody in the line said, hey, if you want a single cover back on that Detroit offense to give that Green Bay defense a chance for a turnover.
Here's the handoff to Starks. The ball is fumbled into the end zone and fallen on by Cobb for a touchdown. Randall Cobb recovers it. It goes flying out of the hands of James Starks, and Cobb is right in the area alone for the recovery and the score.
Good ball in the end zone.
3rd and 6. They can pick up the first down at the 2. Here's Rodgers to the end zone, and it is pulled down by Adams for his first touchdown of the year.
I like what they did too, Jim. This is what you do to receivers that are struggling to find a way to get open.
From the pocket. Now, rolling out, pointing, taking off. First down, touchdown! Aaron Rodgers runs it home.
What a great job by Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's open, breaks outside, and every defender had his back turned out of the pocket, gets a little running start, but can the receivers get far enough down the field?
Rodgers in trouble.
It's going to get there.
He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is caught for the win! Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown. A game ender for the Packers. Total disbelief at Ford Field. The Packers saved by the face mask call, given one last chance. And Aaron Rodgers heaves it as far as he can. And Richard Rodgers boxing out in the end zone for the touchdown.
And that start will get you confident as a quarterback.
2nd and 1 from the 9. And that's Peterson. Look at the wiggle. What a run! Peterson to the end zone for the touchdown. A little shake and bake past Tyrann Mathieu, and that's his 100th career touchdown.
Well, he said, I'm going to be pretty fresh tonight. That's what he said last night. He says, I carried it so little last week.
Cowboys in that crazy NFC East at 4-8, just a game back of the division lead. They're coming after Palmer, who steps away from the heat. And on the run, he finds John Brown. Gets out of a tackle from Munnerlyn, and he's going to take it to the end zone for the touchdown. There was the speed you talked about. 65 yards to John Brown.
Well, the good thing is, or the great thing, Carson Palmer, excellent movement in the pocket. He felt the pressure, he stepped up the move, and he is awesome.
Looked more like a chance to be caught by Harris than it did by Brown, who was dinged and went to the bench. 3rd and 8. Stepping up and finding an open man. It's Michael Floyd, and he gets past the traffic for the touchdown. Larry Fitzgerald throws a block for him, and then comes and celebrates.
Well, they make a mistake. The defense, I don't know what they were doing. Nobody to the outside.
This is Rudolph territory. Third and goal. Bridgewater to the end zone for the touchdown. Mike Wallace.
All-out blitz. Justin Bethel on the coverage. But Teddy Bridgewater did a good
view. Handoff, Powell. Look at that burst. Touchdown, Jets. 3rd straight game, he has scored a touchdown. Bilal Powell. A couple of extra, but avoided the contact from Davis. 1st and goal it is. Over to Dez and into the end zone for a Dallas touchdown. He broke away from Revis to Des Bryant.
It's an all-out blitz. Kellen Moore saw it, got rid of it to the outside, and what you basically are saying, can Darrell Revis tackle Des Bryant in the open field? And that time, no contest. Des Bryant walks in the end zone. A run right here.
At the top, Decker shifting over to that left side as well. And that's Decker. Really, no one near him. Touchdown, New York. His 10th of the season.
Well, he comes across the formation, and nobody's there because I think Brandon Marshall, they're very good at it. The offensive lineman athletic enough to get out and make blocks in space.
First and goal to go for the Steelers.
White 80. White second.
It's Williams. He finds a little opening, and he's got the touchdown.
You know, one of the big stories for this Steelers team this year, I think, is how the offensive line has played.
Owen Daniels at the top, split wide. Osweiler throws at the goal line. It's caught for the touchdown. Demaryius Thomas.
It's one of the best throws of the year by Osweiler so far. He sees it, he catches it, he throws it in rhythm, and he threw it with power right on target. A zone defense, and when Brock Osweiler's under center, oh, Emmanuel Sanders uncovered.
Then Sanders takes off to the end zone, returns to Pittsburgh, and takes it 61 yards.
Caught him on a blitz. Nobody picks him up.
Losing 6. A second and goal at the 1 turns into a third and goal back at the 7. Osweiler going to keep it, and he's going to have a touchdown.
Boy, that's what you do. Didn't force it. It opens up.
Verizon halftime report. Second and goal though for the Broncos coming out of the 2-minute warning. Over to Thomas. Stiff ball. That works. Touchdown, Denver.
Boy, you see this type of play quite a bit. Why? Because these receivers are so big and strong, and if you're going to put a defensive back against them one-on-one, the quarterback is going to take advantage. And then he made that foul.
A 26-yard penalty. Makes it first and goal at the 9. Roethlisberger to the end zone. And it's caught for a touchdown over Harris. And that's the first one on Harris in 2 years. Antonio Brown.
Chris Harris guesses on the play. He's expecting that it's going to be a
second and goal. Touchdown. Pay dirt for Pittsburgh. And again, it was Roby who tried to defend, but Wheaton stayed with it. 9-yard touchdown, an extra point on the way that would tie it.
We're seeing this a lot. The quick throws on the money. The Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, now playing the down and distance and the clock and the time of the game. Well done.
First down with 3.5 to go. Fires it. Touchdown. Again, it's Brown. Antonio Brown having another monster performance. 23-yard touchdown.
These receivers, they know all you got to do is give our quarterback just...
There's some confusion here. This additional one. It's Brown. Brown looking for a little opening. He's got it. Touchdown, San Diego.
I think that first run, they said, hey, let's keep Danny Woodhead in there. Maybe that'll catch him by surprise. Well, that was a bad idea. Put the bigger running back. That's the one thing I saw with Donald Brown last.
To 5 different targets. Gonna run it on first down with Murray. Murray to the 10, and he can walk in. Touchdown, Oakland.
Jamaze Olawale, number 49, makes a great block. Good statement, so true for coaches, quarterbacks.
3rd and 2.
Man coverage this time.
Open for the touchdown. It's Inman.
Same type of route, a little run play, pick play, whatever you want to say, but I said it's just so much pressure on these corners. And sometimes you got to help them out. They don't do it often, and Inman just walks into the...
4:47 to go. And the Raiders offense, which has done nothing this half, looks to take the lead right here. Crabtree hauls it in for the touchdown.
Coverage was good.
First lead of the night for Oakland.
Craig Mager had excellent position, but the football was thrown where it turned over and almost came straight down on a short throw. So great technique.
You got to go for 2 here.
Mike.
At safety, Eric Weddle put on IR this week. 2nd and 2. Another completion. This one to Thomas, and he got away from the defender, and it's still going as he hurdles past another Charger and takes it to the end zone for a touchdown. yards. He escaped Ducray and a tie. He was never out of bounds, the officials say. And Thomas has 3rd and 8. Rivers in the pocket with heat to the end zone, and it is caught. What an effort. Antonio Gates out-battles KO for the football, and the Chargers have taken the lead.
Unbelievable. What a catch. Phillip Rivers hangs in there. He's under.
Again, Ferentz will line up as the fullback.
They got Columbus as a tight end to the left of Peyton Manning.
Ferentz shifts over to a wing on the left side. That's Green moving around into the backfield. Back to Anderson. One wiggle and driving it across. This time it will be officially a touchdown.
Well, it was not easy. That play was the toughest one.
2 yards of offense through 3 quarters. Here's Rivers looking down the field, wide open. He's got a man wide open. It's Williams. Somehow he got free in the secondary, and he jogs into the end zone to put the Chargers back in front. 80 yards. Rivers to Tyrell Williams.
Aqib Talib just lets Williams go right by him. So they have a mistake. Of course, there's a mistake, and there's a...
Good hand! 180! What's it?
Sprinting ahead. Take it off as Hillman to the end zone. Denver's back in front.
Center, right guard, get blocks, then let Hillman walk into the end zone. The center, Paradis, Vasquez, the right guard.
After all of that, they tear the teams apart. There's no flag. It's a 2nd and goal. From the gun. Roethlisberger in zone bound, and it is a touchdown. Martavis Bryant living up to the challenge.
Yep, nice route by him. Watch what he does, and you're thinking, how can he get open against Kirkpatrick in the back?
Well, here's Hill as the tailback. He tied for the league lead in rushing touchdowns this year with 11. They give it to him, and he's in for the touchdown.
Well, if the first play works, let's do it again. So they ran the exact same play twice. Something I see this Bengals offense do a lot. Call the right play and get the defense you expect to give A.J. McCarron a chance to win this game.
Here's a 3rd and 7. And McCarron goes down the field, and it's caught. And Breed's in for the touchdown.
We saw it early in the game, and this pass was knocked down, but A.J. Green goes inside, and it breaks back out. What a job by McCarron, finding him on the backside.
Just as he had done in both meetings in the regular season. Gursky and Chris Hubbard, reinforcement on the offensive line. In fact, they've got Gursky lined up as a fullback.
He's the fullback.
A foot away, 1st and goal. It's 2 sacks. And it's a touchdown.
Did you notice he didn't panic when the football was handed to him? He just kind of like, let me just see what's going on. And boy, 1 week of experience turned him around. It was Gary Kubiak
running right to the line. Back to Anderson. Anderson fights for it, and he's across for the touchdown. Boy, there was contact. Looked like he was going to get stopped initially.
Boykin hit him in the backfield, couldn't stop him.
And that'll go for 2, no doubt. Denver's first postseason touchdown in 23
situations. Hey, can he make the tough throws? Well, it's early, but the early answer is yes.
Demaryius Thomas has a linebacker on him in the slot to the right, 2nd and 10. See if Manning finds it. There's got someone else open, and it's a touchdown. It's Owen Daniels to the end zone.
Really good job by Owen Daniels. Everything when you get in the red zone, so much about scoring when you get near the goal line is about deception. And Owen Daniels just did it that time.
Is the tailback here on a 1st and goal to go. It's Jackson, and Jackson, 2nd effort, gets him across for the touchdown. And David Andrews, the rookie from Georgia, who started the year at center, comes in, plays as a fullback on that occasion, and helps lead the way.
It's adversity. You always have in the game. You got to overcome.
3rd and 6 from the 12. In zone, caught by Daniels, his 2nd touchdown of the half. He had a step on Collins.
Yeah, he just outmaneuvered him. What did I say? Deception is what it's all about. Do you like when you go to that guy?
Here we go. The 13th snap in the quarter inside the 30. With the game on the line, Brady in the pocket, end zone bound, and it is caught by Gronkowski to make it 20-18. He got away from the Denver defenders.
Double covered again. Tom Brady under pressure just threw it up, hoping his guy could outjump.
And the Panthers have a 3rd and 10. Here comes pressure, and they've gotten to him. The ball is out in the end zone, and it's recovered by Malik Jackson for the touchdown. It was Von Miller with the strip sack, and Jackson with the recovery.
Nobody opened down the field fast enough, and Von Miller beats Rivers and
both Stewart and Tolbert in the backfield. 1st and goal. It's Stewart up and in for the Carolina touchdown.
That'll give confidence, that drive, to this Carolina offense. a couple Cam Newton runs, a tremendous play call by Mike Shula with the unbalanced line and then sending Greg Olsen across the board.
Saw that it was defensive holding call and not DPI, defensive pass interference. First and goal. And Anderson got it back in, and he's in the end zone for the touchdown. .12 margin. Peyton's done the math and says we got to go for 2 here with 3:08 remaining. Anderson not to be denied on that carry.
Well, that was some run, and he ran right through Luke Kuechly to get that touchdown.